The alien princess pleaded with her mother. "Mother, I want this human." Zara stood at the massive window of the royal chamber, her 6-fingered hands pressed against the transparent material that was not quite glass. Her purple eyes widened as she watched the strange creature below. The human female moved with unexpected grace despite having only 2 arms and legs. The royal guards had captured her yesterday when her small ship crashed on the outskirts of the capital. "Mother, you must listen to me." Zara turned to Queen Zolia, who sat regally on her crystalline throne. "The human is different from what our studies showed. They are not savage beasts." Queen Zolia flicked her long silver hair back, revealing the royal markings along her neck. "We cannot trust the information from their broadcasts," the Queen said. "They show only what they wish us to see. This specimen will be studied, then disposed of." Zara felt her heart chambers constrict. "No, Mother. She is intelligent. I watched her repair parts of her ship before our guards took her. She spoke to them in her language, trying to communicate. She is not a simple animal." The Queen rose to her impressive height, towering over her daughter. "You are too fascinated with these earth creatures. Zara, this is unbecoming of the future ruler of Laranth. Our people expect strength, not softness." Zara knew arguing further would only harden her mother's resolve, so she bowed respectfully and retreated from the chamber. Her mind was already forming a plan. Niao. Princess moved silently through the crystal hallways of the palace, her long robes flowing behind her like liquid silver. The guards bowed as she passed, not questioning where she was going at such a late hour. The royal family had complete freedom within the palace walls, a freedom Zara rarely took advantage of until now. She reached the lower levels where few except the scientific researchers ventured. The air here smelled different, tinged with chemicals, and the hum of equipment filled the silence. Zara pressed her hand against a scanner and the door slid open, revealing a laboratory filled with strange devices. "Greetings, Princess," the head scientist Kalara said, looking up from her work with surprise. "What brings you to our humble facility?" "Wish to observe the human," Zara said, keeping her voice steady and commanding as her mother had taught her. "I need to understand our potential." Enemy Kalara nodded approvingly. "Of course, Princess, this way." They walked past various chambers containing specimens from across the galaxy. Most were plants or simple animals collected during the Lyranth expeditions to other worlds. The Lyranth Empire spanned 12 star systems, but they had never encountered another intelligent species capable of space travel until now. "The human is here," Kalara said, stopping at a sealed door. "We have not begun invasive testing yet. We are still observing baseline functions." Zara felt relief wash over her, but kept her expression neutral. "Good, I wish to observe. Alone." But Princess Kalara began. "That is an order," Zara said, letting a hint of her mother's steel enter her voice. The scientist bowed and backed away. "Yes, Princess. Of course I will be in the main laboratory if you require assistance." When Kalara was gone, Zara quickly pressed her royal seal against the lock. The door slid open, revealing a circular room with the human female sitting on a platform bed. The human looked up, her strange round pupils widening in what Zara recognized from her studies as surprise. The human female was smaller than Zara had expected, barely reaching the princess chest if they stood side by side. Her skin was a pale color with none of the silver shimmer of Lyranth skin. Her hair was a golden brown cut short around her face. Her eyes were the most alien feature to Zara, small with white surrounds and colored centers, not the full purple of Lyranth eyes. The human spoke words Zara could not understand. Her voice was higher pitched than a Lyranth voice. The princess activated the translation device on her wrist, a technology still experimental but necessary. "Now can you understand me?" Zara asked, speaking slowly. The human tilted her head, then nodded, a gesture Zara recognized from her studies. "Yes, I can understand. Who are you?" "I am Princess Zara of the Lyranth Empire," Zara said, moving closer, watching the human's reaction carefully. "You are in our royal city on the planet you would call HD 189733b, though we name it Lyranth after our people. Lisa Morgan." She said, pointing to herself. My name is Lisa Morgan. I am a scientist from Earth. A xenobiologist. Jara accessed the translation device again. Xenobiologist, one who studies alien life forms. The princess almost laughed at the irony. You study beings like me, and now I am studying you. The human Lisa showed no fear, which impressed Zara. The princess had expected terror or panic based on the human entertainment broadcasts they had intercepted, where aliens were often portrayed as monsters. Why am I here? Lisa asked. Are you going to experiment on me? Zara moved closer, sitting on the edge of the platform. That is what the queen, my mother, wishes. But I believe there is more to learn from talking with you than cutting you open. The human visibly relaxed, though Zara noted she remained alert. Why would you go against your queen? Zara considered the question. Because I believe in knowledge before action. Our histories tell of a time when the Lyranth were less advanced, when we feared what we did not understand. It led to wars that nearly destroyed our world. We evolved beyond that. I will not let us repeat those mistakes. Lisa studied the alien princess for a long moment. You risk much to speak with me. I risk more if I do not. Zara replied. If humans are intelligent, as I believe, and if you have achieved space travel, then you are either potential allies or potential enemies. I would prefer the former. Lisa nodded slowly. I would too. My mission was peaceful exploration. I was sent to study this planet, not expecting intelligent life. Zara made a decision she hoped would not prove foolish. I will help you, Lisa Morgan of Earth. But you must help me convince my mother that humans are worthy of diplomatic relations rather than scientific curiosity. Can I do that? Lisa asked. By teaching me about humans. Zara said, everything you know about your world, your history, your science, your culture, and I will teach you about the Lyranth together. We will build a bridge between our worlds. Lisa considered. This then extended her hand, palm up, in a gesture Zara did not recognize. It is a human custom, she explained. A handshake to seal an agreement. Zara hesitated, then pressed her 6-fingered hand against Lisa's 5-fingered one. The touch was strange, the human's skin warmer than her own. We have an agreement, Zara said. Then we must hurry. We have only a few days before the scientists begin their tests. I will return tomorrow with information and supplies. You will need to learn quickly about our world if you are to survive it. Lisa Morgan woke to the sound of the chamber door opening. Her sleep had been fitful, the strange gravity of the alien world making her feel lighter than she should. The purple-tinged light that filled the room never fully dimmed, making it hard to tell how much time had passed. Princess Zara entered, carrying what appeared to be scrolls and a small device. The alien moved with fluid grace that still amazed Lisa. Despite being nearly 7 feet tall, the princess made no sound as she crossed. The room. I brought learning materials, Zara said, her voice coming through the translation device with only a slight mechanical quality. Our history texts, basic science manuals, and cultural guides. Lisa sat up eagerly, her scientific curiosity overriding any lingering fear. This is incredible. She reached for one of the scrolls, which unfurled to reveal text and images in the alien language. The scroll reacts to touch, Zara explained. Place your finger on any word or image. Lisa did as instructed, touching an image of what appeared to be a star map. The image expanded, filling the air above the scroll with a 3-dimensional projection of a star system. This is the Lyranth home system. Zara said, we have inhabited 7 planets and constructed orbital habitats around 3 others. Our civilization is over 2 million of your Earth years old. Lisa gasped. 2 million years? Humans have only had written language for about 5,000 years. Zara made a gesture that caused the projection to change, showing the evolution of the Lyranth species. We were not always as you see me now. Once we were smaller, less advanced. She pointed to an image of a creature that looked more insectoid than humanoid. We evolved together with our technology. The changes were gradual at first, then guided by science. You modified your own evolution, Lisa said, understanding dawning on her. Human scientists have only begun to explore genetic modification. Zara nodded. We shaped ourselves to survive on different worlds, to live longer, to think better. But there were costs. She touched another image showing what appeared to be some kind of conflict. Our history has dark periods, like any species. We nearly destroyed ourselves more than once. Lisa spent hours absorbing the information Zara brought. The Lyranth had technologies humans had only dreamed of, anti-gravity quantum communication devices that worked instantly across vast distances, and medical science that had extended their lifespans to over 500 Earth years. But they also had surprising gaps in their knowledge. Their understanding of certain biological processes lagged behind Earth's. They had no concept of music as humans understood it. Their social structures were rigid with little allowance for individual variation. I need to show you something, Zara said after Lisa had examined the materials. The princess glanced at the door. We must be quick. Follow me. Lisa hesitated. Where are we going to see your ship? Zara said. The scientists have moved it to a research facility. I need you to show me how it works. Is this a test? Lisa asked, suddenly suspicious. Are you checking to see if humans are a threat? Zara shook her head. No. I believe you already. But my mother needs proof that humans are worth communicating with rather than dissecting. Your technology followed different paths than ours. This could be valuable. Lisa considered this. It made sense if she could demonstrate that humans had developed technologies the Lyranth had not. It might prove their worth as potential allies rather than research subjects. How do we get there without being seen? Lisa asked. With this, Zara held up a small silver disc. She pressed it against Lisa's chest where it adhered to her garment. A slight tingling sensation spread across Lisa's skin. Then to her shock, her body began to shimmer and take on the appearance of a Lyranth female, albeit a small one. Appearance modifier, Zara explained. It does not change your actual form, only how others perceive you. Walk behind me. Keep your head lowered as if you are a servant. No one will question the princess and her attendant. They moved through the crystalline corridors of the facility, Lisa struggling to keep up with Zara's long strides. Guards and scientists bowed as they passed, none looking directly at the disguised human. Several times Zara stopped to speak briefly with others while Lisa kept her head down, heart pounding. Finally, they reached a large chamber where Lisa's small exploration vessel sat, surrounded by Lyranth scientists. Princess Zara, one of the scientists said, bowing low. We were not expecting you. Leave us, Zara commanded. I wish to examine the vessel alone. But Your Highness, our tests. The scientist fell silent at Zara's imperious gesture. The room quickly emptied, leaving them alone with the ship. When they were alone, Lisa rushed to her vessel, relief flooding through her at the sight of something familiar. The ship was smaller than a standard Earth shuttle designed for a single pilot. On short exploration missions, its silver hull was scratched from the crash landing, but otherwise intact. They haven't been able to access the main computer, Lisa realized, examining the exterior. There were tool marks around the access panel, but the security systems were still active. Can you open it? Zara asked. Lisa placed her palm on the recognition pad. The ship hummed to life lights flickering on inside. Welcome, Dr. Morgan, the ship's computer said in English. Zara watched with fascination as Lisa climbed inside and activated the main console. The interior was cramped, designed for human proportions. The princess had to bend almost double to look inside. This is remarkable, Zara said, her six-fingered hand hovering over the controls. These systems are unlike ours, yet clearly advanced. Lisa nodded, accessing the ship's database. Look here, she said, bringing up the ship's records of Earth technology. Human civilization is young compared to yours, but we've developed along different paths. Zara studied the information with intense concentration. Your power generation is inefficient by our standards, but your information systems, your computers are designed differently, more adaptable, less structured. Lisa felt a surge of pride, knowing that human innovation was impressing the alien princess. We had to solve problems differently, she explained. Without the resources of multiple planets, we had to maximize efficiency, doing more with less. Zara nodded. That explains much. Our abundance made us complacent. In some areas, your necessity drove innovation. Lisa accessed more files, bringing up Earth's history, medical advancements, agricultural techniques. Zara absorbed it all, asking insightful questions that showed her quick understanding. This is what I needed, Zara said finally. You must gather what you can from your ship. Any information that demonstrates human ingenuity. I will take it to my mother. What if she still says no? Lisa asked. What if she still wants to dissect me? Zara looked troubled. I have one more plan, but it is risky. The royal ball is in 2 days. All the court will be there. My mother cannot deny the evidence before so many witnesses. But we must prepare you. You must learn our customs, our etiquette. If you make a mistake, it could doom both our peoples. Lisa felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. I will learn everything you can teach me, she promised. They gathered what they could from the ship, including a small data tablet containing Earth's scientific and cultural records. Then Zara reactivated the appearance modifier and they made their way back to Lisa's chamber. For the next day, Zara visited frequently, bringing more information and teaching Lisa the complex customs of Lyranth society. There were specific ways to bow depending on the rank of the person, specific phrases to use in formal settings, even particular ways to move and stand. Lisa practiced until her muscles ached, memorizing phrases in the Lyranth language that the translation device might not handle properly. Learning the history of the royal family and the complex political factions of the court. This is more difficult than my xenobiology training, Lisa said, after failing again to properly execute a formal Lyranth greeting. Zara laughed, a musical sound Lisa had grown to enjoy. You are doing well for someone with only 5 fingers. The princess demonstrated again, moving with fluid grace that Lisa attempted to copy. Why are you doing this? Lisa asked during a brief rest. Why risk so much for a stranger? An alien. Zara was quiet for a long moment. I have always questioned our isolation, she said finally. Other species in our studies seem to thrive through connection, through exchange. We Lyranth believe ourselves superior. But I wonder if that superiority has become stagnation. Perhaps we need new perspectives to grow. Lisa studied the alien princess, seeing beyond the silver skin and purple eyes to the person beneath. In that moment, despite their physical differences, Lisa recognized a kindred spirit, a scientist at heart, someone who valued knowledge over fear. We will succeed, Lisa said with new determination. Tell me again about the royal ball. Princess Zara is breaking protocol again, the royal advisor Mila hissed to Queen Zolia. The advisor stood rigidly beside the queen's throne. Her multifaceted eyes narrowed as they watched a monitor showing the princess and the human walking in the royal gardens. The human should be in the research facility, not strolling about like an honored guest queen. Zolia observed the screen with a neutral expression that revealed nothing of her thoughts. The human female, Lisa Morgan, walked beside Zara, talking animatedly, her hands moving as she explained something. The princess listened with rapt attention, occasionally laughing at something the human said. Perhaps my daughter sees something in this creature that we do not. The queen mused. Half of the Royal Science Council agrees with her assessment that humans could be valuable allies. Their technology follows different paths than ours. There could be mutual benefits. Mila made a dismissive gesture, her 6 fingers splayed in the Lyranth expression of contempt. They are primitive, barely space-capable. Their lifespans are laughably short, less than a single Lyranth cycle, and they are fragile. The advisor sniffed. Their biology is so inefficient, yet they achieved space travel in mere thousands of years while it took our ancestors hundreds of thousands, the queen countered. Look at how quickly this one has learned our customs. She shows proper deference but maintains dignity. Interesting. My queen, you cannot be considering me less. Eyes widened in alarm. The royal ball is tomorrow. The court will be there. The noble houses, all the science council. You cannot present this creature as anything but a specimen. The queen raised a hand, silencing her advisor with the gesture. I will. Make my decision after the ball, she said. Let us see how the human conducts herself. I have allowed Zara to bring her not as a prisoner but as an observer. It will be a test. Mila bowed stiffly as protocol demanded, but her expression remained troubled. The advisor had served the royal family for 3 generations. She had seen the rise and fall of noble houses, had watched as the Laranth expanded their empire across the stars. Never had they allowed a lesser species a place at court. It was unprecedented, potentially dangerous in the garden. Lisa was explaining the concept of democracy to the fascinated princess. So your leaders are chosen by the common people, Zara asked. That seems so inefficient. How do they know who would rule best? They don't always, Lisa admitted with a smile. Sometimes they choose poorly. But the system allows for peaceful transition of power, and it gives everyone a voice, even if that voice is small. Zara considered this. Our system has stability, she said. The royal bloodline has ruled for 50,000 years. There have been no wars of succession, no struggles for the throne. But she hesitated. Perhaps we lose something too, when only one voice matters. Lisa looked up at the alien princess who towered over her human form. Despite their physical differences, she had come to see Zara as a friend, perhaps the most important friend humanity would ever have. Everything they discussed, from science to culture to politics, could shape relations between their species for generations. We'll need to be careful tomorrow, Zara said, suddenly serious. The royal ball is not just a celebration, it is a political arena. The noble houses will be watching, judging. Some already see humans as a threat, others as an opportunity. You must navigate their expectations. Lisa felt anxiety twist in her stomach. I still don't know enough about your customs. What if I make a mistake? Zara placed a 6-fingered hand gently on Lisa's shoulder. Be yourself, she said. That is what has convinced me of your worth, your curiosity, your adaptability, your willingness to learn. Show them that. Show them what makes humans special. In her chamber, Lisa stood before a reflective surface examining the formal Lyranth attire Zara had provided, the flowing silver material, adjusted to her smaller frame, automatically shimmering in the purple light. It felt strange against her skin, like liquid metal, but comfortable. A soft chime announced Zara's arrival. The princess entered wearing elaborate ceremonial robes. Her silver skin seemed to glow, and the royal markings along her neck had been highlighted with some kind of luminescent material. You look beautiful, Zara said, her purple eyes shining with excitement. This night will change everything. My mother has invited the entire royal court and the science council. They will all meet you. Lisa felt butterflies in her stomach. I hope I don't embarrass you or cause an interplanetary incident. Zara laughed, a musical sound Lisa had grown fond of. You have learned our customs well, better than some of our provincial nobles, and remember what we practiced. Just be yourself. Show them human passion, intelligence, and your curious nature. My people value curiosity above all else. The princess helped Lisa with final adjustments to her attire. Then they made their way through the crystalline corridors of the palace. Guards bowed as they passed, some casting curious glances at the small human walking beside the princess. As they approached the grand hall, Lisa could hear strange harmonics that she assumed was Laranth music. It vibrated in her chest, making her feel both anxious and exhilarated. The royal ball was unlike anything Lisa could have imagined. The massive hall glittered with crystals that seemed to float in the air, casting rainbow light across the gathered aliens. The Lyranth nobility moved with fluid grace, their tall forms adorned with elaborate markings and jewelry that indicated their social status. The music shifted constantly, sometimes so low Lisa felt rather than heard, at other times reaching notes her human ears could barely detect. Queen Zolia sat on an elevated platform watching the proceedings, her expression unreadable. The queen was even taller than Zara, her silver hair elaborately styled, her robes more magnificent than any others Lisa could feel. The queen's gaze following her as she moved through the crowd with Zara. Each introduction was a test. Some nobles were curious, others clearly disdainful of the human in their midst. Lisa managed the complex greeting rituals Zara had taught her, bowing precisely the right amount for each rank, offering the appropriate compliments. She answered questions about Earth with candor, but also strategic vagueness where Zara had advised caution. "This creature has some training," at least one noble woman said to another, loud enough for Lisa to hear, though she pretended not to. "Like a pet taught to mimic its betters." Zara tensed beside her, but Lisa placed a hand briefly on the princess' arm, a subtle signal that she was not offended. The human had expected resistance, had prepared for it. The music changed and the crowd parted, revealing an open area in the center of the hall. Several labyrinth moved into this space, beginning what appeared to be a formal dance. Their movements were precise, mathematical, almost hypnotic. "The celestial harmony," Zara whispered to Lisa. "It is our most sacred dance. It tells the story of our evolution from planet-bound creatures to masters of the stars." Lisa watched, fascinated by the grace of the dancers. Despite their height, the labyrinth moved with incredible precision, their 6 limbs creating patterns that seemed to defy physics. When the dance concluded, there was a moment of silence. Then Queen Zolia rose from her throne. The crowd immediately bowed, including Zara. Lisa followed suit, keeping her eyes downcast as she had been taught. The queen descended from her platform, approaching the center of the hall. "Let the feast begin," she announced. Servants appeared, carrying strange foods on crystalline platters. Zara guided Lisa to a smaller chamber adjacent to the main hall where tables were arranged. The princess seated Lisa beside her at a table with several younger nobles. "You may eat what I eat," Zara said, quietly. "These foods are safe for your biology. We checked the molecular structure against your ship's database." The meal was strange but not unpleasant. Lisa found most dishes had a sweet mineral taste unlike anything on Earth. The nobles at their table asked polite questions about human customs, food preferences, and social structures. Lisa answered each, carefully aware that everything she said represented not just herself, but all of humanity. After the meal, they returned to the main hall. The crowd had shifted, forming new groupings that Zara explained represented political alliances and social hierarchies. The princess guided Lisa through these complex interactions, introducing her to key figures in the labyrinth government. The most difficult interaction came when they approached a tall, severe-looking female. Zara tensed visibly beside her. "Royal Advisor Mila," the princess said with formal politeness. "May I present Lisa Morgan of Earth Milas." Multifaceted eyes reminded Lisa of an insect's as they scrutinized her. "So small?" Mila said, circling Lisa. "Your species must feel so vulnerable." "So limited, not at all," Lisa replied with a polite smile. "We find strength in adaptation rather than perfection. Where one human might fail, a different human with different abilities might succeed. Our diversity is our advantage." Mila made a sound that the translator didn't convert, likely a scoff. Lisa continued. "When I first saw the labyrinth, I was in awe of your height, your grace, your advanced technology. But I noticed something interesting. And what might that be?" "Human," Mila asked, her tone making the word human sound like an insult. "You have no art that depicts failure," Lisa said, gesturing to the massive murals that decorated the hall. "All your stories end in victory or noble sacrifice. Your history records only successes. Humans embrace failure as a teacher. We fall, we learn, we improve. Your perfection is beautiful, but our imperfection drives us forward at a remarkable pace." A murmur went through the gathered nobles who had stopped to listen to the exchange. Zara was beaming beside her. The princess had not expected such insight. From her human friend, Mila seemed at a loss for words, her multifaceted eyes blinking rapidly. Finally, she said, "Your perspective is primitive but not without merit." She turned and walked away, her posture rigid. "You impressed her." Zara whispered, "That is rare." The evening continued with more introductions, more careful conversations. Lisa felt exhaustion creeping in. The difference in gravity, The strange food, the constant vigilance required to navigate alien social customs, all took their toll. But she persevered, knowing what was at stake. As the ball began to wind down, Queen Zolia descended once more from her throne. The crowd fell silent as she approached Lisa and Zara. The queen towered over the human, her presence commanding. Everyone stepped back, leaving Lisa alone before the queen. Human, the queen said, her voice amplified somehow so all could hear. You have conducted yourself with dignity this evening. You have shown respect for our ways while maintaining the pride of your own species. This is commendable. Lisa bowed deeply as Zara had instructed, for addressing the queen directly. Thank you, Your Majesty. The queen studied Lisa for a long moment. I have reviewed the data from your vessel. The information my daughter provided about your species. Your technology, while primitive in some areas, shows remarkable innovation in others. There may be value in further communication between our peoples. Lisa felt her heart race. Was this it? Was the queen actually considering diplomatic relations rather than scientific dissection, Your Majesty? Lisa said, choosing her words carefully. The differences between us could be our greatest strength if we choose to learn from each other. Rather than fear what is different, Earth would welcome peaceful contact with the Lyranth Empire. Queen Zolia looked around at the gathered court, her expression unreadable. Then she spoke. Let it be known that from this day forward, humans are recognized as a sentient species, worthy of diplomatic relations. The human Lisa Morgan will be our first ambassador until her people can send others. The announcement sent shockwaves through the assembly. Some nobles nodded in approval. Others looked scandalized. The Science Council members present appeared divided, some excited by the possibilities, others clearly disappointed at losing a research specimen. Zara rushed forward, embracing Lisa in a very unhuman display of emotion that shocked the court, but made the queen smile faintly. Mother, thank you, Zara said, her voice thick with emotion. This will be remembered as the beginning of a great alliance. Perhaps, the queen said. But first, our new ambassador must contact her people. She has much to tell them about the Lyranth, and we have much to learn about the curious humans who embrace imperfection and turn it into strength. The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity. Lisa was moved from her chamber to a luxurious suite in the diplomatic wing of the palace. She was given access to communication, technology modified to reach Earth. A team of Lyranth scientists and cultural experts was assigned to help her craft the first official message to human authorities. Zara remained by her side through it all, helping Lisa navigate the complex politics of her new position. The princess had been appointed official liaison to the human ambassador, a position that pleased them both. We need to be careful, Lisa said as they worked on the message to Earth. Humans might react with fear when they learn about the Lyranth. We have many stories about alien contact, most of them ending badly for the humans. Zara considered this a natural response for a younger species. She said, eventually, your people will understand. As you did, that difference need not mean danger. Tell them about our art, our science, our history. Show them we are people, not monsters. Lisa nodded. Her first task was to prevent panic, to help humanity see this as an opportunity, not a threat. She composed a message explaining her situation, the peaceful intent of the Lyranth, and the potential benefits of diplomatic relations. She included data about Lyranth technology, medicine, and science, highlighting areas where exchange of knowledge would benefit both species. When the message was ready, Lisa felt the weight of history on her shoulders. This would change everything for humanity, their place in the universe, their understanding of their own significance. Nothing would be the same after today. Send it. Zara encouraged her. This is the beginning of something wonderful. Lisa activated the communication device, watching as the message began its journey to Earth. In a few hours, depending on how quickly Earth scientists recognized and decoded the signal, humanity would know they were not alone. Now we wait, Lisa said. Zara nodded. And prepare, your people will have many questions. We must be ready to answer them over the next weeks as they awaited Earth's response. Lisa continued to learn about Lyranth society. Zara introduced her to scientists, artists, philosophers. Even those who had initially been skeptical about human intelligence were won over by Lisa's quick mind and genuine curiosity. Lisa was particularly fascinated by Lyranth medicine. Their approach to healing was entirely different from human methods, focusing on energy fields and cellular harmony, rather than chemical interventions. Their technology could extend life, repair damage, and even regrow limbs. Yet they struggled with certain viral infections that human medicine had conquered centuries ago. "Your immune system is remarkable," Kalara, the head scientist, told Lisa, now treating her as a colleague rather than a specimen. "So adaptable, so aggressive. It attacks anything foreign with impressive efficiency. We Lyranth have more specialized defenses, effective against known threats but slow to respond to new ones." Together, Lisa and Kalara began exploring how human medical knowledge might complement Lyranth techniques. It was the first of many collaborative projects that would eventually transform both societies. Zara took Lisa to cities beyond the capital, showing her the true scope of Lyranth civilization. They traveled on vehicles that hovered silently above the ground, visited vast libraries containing millions of years of knowledge, and toured manufacturing facilities where machines smaller than dust particles built technology atom by atom. In return, Lisa taught the Lyranth about human culture. She shared Earth music, which fascinated them with its emotional range. She explained human art, literature, philosophy, and religion. The concepts of fiction and faith were particularly challenging for the literal-minded Lyranth, but they struggled to understand why create stories that are not true. Zara asked after Lisa had explained the concept of novels to explore possibilities. Lisa explained, "To ask what if. To experience lives and worlds beyond our own fiction helps us understand ourselves and others. It builds empathy." "Empathy," Zara repeated, thoughtfully. "This is a concept we must study further." The message from Earth arrived 42 days after Lisa had sent her communication. It came in the form of a data transmission aimed precisely at the Lyranth world. The content was brief, formal, a request for confirmation and more information, but it was also hopeful, expressing interest in peaceful contact and scientific exchange. "They believed me," Lisa said with relief after reviewing the message. "They're sending a diplomatic vessel. Estimated arrival in 6 months." Zara placed a 6-fingered hand on Lisa's shoulder. "Of course they believed you. You are a scientist, a person of knowledge. Why would you lie?" Lisa laughed. "Earth politics is more complicated than that. Some will see this as a threat, others as an opportunity for personal gain. There will be fear, confusion." But she smiled. "This is a good first step." Queen Zolia summoned them both to the throne room after the message was received. The queen had been distant since the ball, allowing Zara to handle the details of the new diplomatic relationship. Now she seemed ready to take a more active role. "The human government has responded appropriately," the queen said. "We will prepare for their arrival. The first contact protocols must be observed." But she fixed Lisa with her purple gaze. "Tell me truthfully, Ambassador, do all humans share your curiosity, your willingness to learn? Or should we expect others to be less accepting of difference?" Lisa considered the question carefully. "Humans are diverse, Your Majesty, in thought as well as form. Some will approach the Lyranth with fear, others with wonder. Most will fall somewhere between. Some will see only potential profit, others only potential threat. But given time and positive experiences, most humans will come to see the Lyranth as friends, not enemies." The queen nodded. "That is what my daughter believed. She trusted you from the beginning. I was more cautious. Perhaps we both were right. Caution and trust in balance." 6 months passed quickly as preparations were made for the arrival of the Earth delegation. Lisa worked tirelessly with Zara and a team of Lyranth experts to create protocols for first contact. Cultural guides were prepared, translators programmed, accommodations modified for human physiology. Lisa had become something of a celebrity among the Lyranth. Wherever she went, citizens would stop to observe the small human who had become their link to a new species. Children were particularly fascinated, often following her at a respectful distance, their purple eyes wide with wonder. Zara remained her closest friend and ally. The princess had championed human-Lyranth relations from the beginning, and now stood to see her vision realized. They had developed a bond that transcended their physical differences, a friendship based on mutual respect and genuine affection. The day the Earth ship was detected entering the Lyranth system, the capital erupted in celebration. Crowds gathered in public spaces to watch broadcasts of the approaching vessel. It was larger than Lisa's, small explorer significantly more advanced. The humans had sent their best, their newest technology. A clear sign. They understood the importance of this moment. Lisa stood beside Zara and Queen Zolia in the royal reception chamber, watching as the Earth ship established orbit around the planet. They followed the coordinates exactly. Zara said, "They respected our boundaries." Yes, Lisa agreed, feeling a surge of pride. Her messages had been taken seriously. Her recommendations followed. The ship contained a small delegation of Earth's finest diplomats, scientists, and cultural experts. She had worked with the Lyranth to prepare detailed briefings for them, but she knew nothing could truly prepare humans for their first encounter with an advanced alien civilization. The landing shuttle detached from the main vessel, descending through the atmosphere on a predetermined path. It touched down at the designated landing zone where a Lyranth honor guard waited. The shuttle door opened and the first human delegate stepped onto alien soil. Lisa watched the broadcast, her heart pounding. They looked so strange to her now. After months among the Lyranth, so small, so pink, their movements seemed abrupt after the fluid grace she had grown accustomed to. Yet they were her people, and seeing them filled her with complex emotions. "It is time," Queen Zolia said. The royal party moved toward their transport, which would take them to meet the Earth delegation. Lisa walked between the queen and the princess, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. The journey to the landing zone was brief, the royal transport moving silently through the air. As they approached, Lisa could see the Earth delegation standing in a formal group beside their shuttle. They looked nervous but composed. The months of preparation had prepared them at least somewhat for what to expect. The transport landed, and the Lyranth honor guard formed. A pathway Queen Zolia descended, first followed by Zara and Lisa. The Earth delegation bowed as they had been instructed in Lisa's briefings. Ambassador Katie Nelson stepped forward as the designated representative of Earth. She was tall for a human, with dark skin and close-cropped hair. Her formal diplomatic uniform gleamed in the purple-tinged sunlight. "Queen Zolia, I am honored to meet you," the ambassador said through a translator device, similar to the one Lisa used. "On behalf of the people of Earth, I bring greetings and hopes for peaceful relations between our worlds." The queen inclined her head slightly. "Ambassador Nelson, your journey has been long. Your arrival is welcome." Lisa stepped forward, feeling strange to be among humans again. "After so many months, Ambassador Nelson," she said, "welcome to Lyranth the Earth." Ambassador smiled widely. "Dr. Morgan, your messages have caused quite a stir on Earth. You've become something of a legend." The woman who made first contact, Lisa laughed. "It was more accident than plan. But I'm glad it happened." The formal introductions continued, each member of the Earth delegation meeting the royal party and key Lyranth officials. Then they moved to the palace where a reception had been prepared. The icy humans were visibly awed by the crystalline architecture, the hovering transport, the advanced technology visible everywhere. In the grand reception hall, humans and Lyranth mingled cautiously at first. Then, with growing enthusiasm, scientists from both species quickly found common ground, discussing their respective technologies. Medical experts compared notes on biology and treatment approaches. Cultural attachés exchanged information about art, music, and social structures. Lisa moved between groups, facilitating introductions, explaining concepts, translating nuances that the mechanical translators missed. She caught Zara's eye across the room. The princess smiled, a gesture she had learned from Lisa. The human smiled back, feeling a sense of accomplishment that transcended her wildest dreams. Later, as the reception continued, Lisa found a quiet moment with Zara. The princess led her to a balcony overlooking the capital city. It glittered in the light of the setting sun, crystals and metals catching the purple and orange rays. "We did it," Zara said softly. "Two species meeting in peace. This will change everything." Lisa nodded. "For both our peoples, the exchange of knowledge alone will advance both our civilizations, but more importantly, it opens the door to understanding difference, to seeing beyond our own limited perspectives." The princess was quiet for a moment, looking out over her world. Then she asked, "What will you do now?" "Lisa Morgan, will you return to Earth with your people? You have family there, friends, a life before us." Lisa had been asking herself the same question for weeks. The Earth delegation had brought offers from her government positions, honors, rewards for her role in First Contact. Part of her longed to see Earth again, to feel its familiar gravity, to walk among her own kind. But another part, "I think my place is here," she said finally. "At least for now. There is still so much to learn, so much to share. I can serve both our peoples better as a bridge between worlds." Relief showed on Zara's face, though she tried to hide it. "I had hoped you would stay," the princess admitted. "My mother has approved the creation of a permanent human embassy. You would be the logical choice to lead it." Lisa smiled. "I would be honored." Behind them, the sounds of the reception continued. Humans and Lyranth beginning what would become a long and complex relationship. There would be challenges ahead, misunderstandings, cultural clashes, political complications. But in this moment, standing beside her alien friend, looking out over an alien world, Lisa felt only hope. A month later, the first trade agreements were signed. Technological exchange programs were established. Cultural representatives were appointed. Zara had been named official ambassador to Earth and would travel there with the returning delegation. A new era had begun. Lisa stood in the palace gardens watching as Zara's transport prepared for departure. The princess would be the first Lyranth to visit Earth, a historic moment to match Lisa's own first contact. "Are you nervous?" Lisa asked as they waited for the final preparations. Zara nodded, a very human gesture she had adopted. "I have studied Earth extensively, but experiencing it will be different. The gravity, the air, the sounds, the colors, all will be strange to me." And she hesitated. "Your people may not all be as accepting as you." Lisa squeezed her friend's six-fingered hand. "Some will be afraid," she admitted. "That's natural, but others will welcome you with open minds and hearts. Just as some Lyranth feared me, while others embraced the opportunity I represented. Fear of difference is universal, but so is curiosity, and curiosity often wins." Queen Zolia approached, her royal robes shimmering in the sunlight. "Ambassador Morgan," she said formally, then softened. "My daughter travels to your world. I entrust her safety to your people." Lisa bowed. "We will protect her as you have protected me, Your Majesty. The exchange of ambassadors strengthens the bonds between our worlds. Princess, Zara will help humans understand the Lyranth, just as I have tried to help the Lyranth understand humans." The Queen studied Lisa for a long moment, then did something unprecedented. She reached out, placing her six-fingered hand on Lisa's shoulder in a gesture of equality. "You have changed us, Lisa Morgan of Earth, more than you know. For too long we believed ourselves alone in our advancement, isolated by our superiority. You have shown us otherwise. For that I thank you." Lisa felt tears in her eyes, overwhelmed by the Queen's words and gesture. "Thank you, Your Majesty." The signal came that the transport was ready. Zara embraced Lisa, another human custom she had adopted. "I will return in 6 months with stories of Earth," she promised. "And perhaps more humans who wish to visit Lyranth." Lisa nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. She watched as Zara boarded the transport with her Lyranth attendants and the returning Earth delegation. The vessel rose silently into the air, then accelerated toward the waiting Earth ship in orbit. As it disappeared from view, Lisa turned back toward the palace, toward her new office in the human embassy, toward the work that awaited her. She was no longer just a xenobiologist studying alien life. She was a bridge between worlds, a translator of more than just words, but of cultures, ideas, and hopes. Somewhere in the vastness of space, an alien princess was traveling to Earth, carrying with her the promise of a new future, and on an alien world a human woman walked among silver towers under a purple sky, no longer a stranger but a friend, a symbol of what was possible when curiosity overcame fear, when difference was seen not as a threat but as an opportunity. The universe had just become much more interesting for humans and Lorantha alike, Lisa thought as she walked back through the alien garden that was slowly becoming home, and that was just the beginning.